Hey, GLP-1 plus sides community. Before we jump into the podcast, please take the time to leave us a 5-star review on whatever audio platform you're listening to the podcast on. Share your story and how the podcast has helped you. This will help us get referred up in the audio platform so that we can reach more people that need our help, our support, and guidance from our doctors. Help us get loud and change things.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Hey everyone, before we dive in, I really want to share something personal with you. About, I want to say like 8 to 10 months ago, after losing 100 pounds on GLP-1s and keeping it off for a long time, I started regaining out of nowhere, and I was terrified. But I also started having hot flashes and bouts of crying and snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. unable to go back to sleep. It turns out I was in perimenopause. So I started hormone replacement therapy, which is also called HRT, through a telehealth called Winona that specializes in this. And it changed everything. And now I'm sleeping better. And my hot flashes are all but gone, thank God. And I feel like myself again. And it turns out that you can actually start perimenopause as early as 35. And well, I'm 46 and she's here. HRT has really come a long way and there's just no need to suffer anymore. So if you're like this and you're in the same boat, you can check out buywinona.com and you can use the link in our link tree to save some money.
Want the fastest working GLP-1? For half the price, Ro now offers FDA-approved weight loss injections cheaper. With results you can see faster. Lose 15% of your weight with the formula from Eli Lilly that hits not one, but 2 hormones to curb hunger and nausea. Weight loss faster. Confidence higher. Price cheaper. See if you qualify at ro.co/TV.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your welcome
Pretty bad.
to the Plus Size
Hi.
Podcast. How's everybody doing?
Doing
well
Okay.
today.
Fantastic.
How are y'all doing?
It's a Monday
I'm
back.
exhausted.
I bet
I'm
you are.
exhausted. Yeah.
I wonder why.
You're meeting all your
Yeah.
besties this weekend.
I did. And it's so interesting because, it's like, okay, so I'm in marketing. So I go to like things like this kind of stuff all the time for like work, right?
Mhm.
You go, you schmooze, you do your thing, you're kind of in and out, and you go and kind of reset or whatever. And it's not anywhere near as overwhelming as this was. And I think the reason it is because we're so one particular creator said this, but like I don't want to like out her, but she was like, listen, like when we make our TikToks, we're just talking to ourselves, right?
Right.
Like we're part of this community, we're connected to the community, but we are just talking to ourselves. So when you all of a sudden, right, take that and put it in a room with 50 people that have helped you on legitimately one of the most trying journeys and meaningful experiences of your life, and they're all
Yeah.
in one room. It's very difficult to feel like you can tailor your responses. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's incredibly overstimulating and overwhelming. And I don't think any of us were really prepared for that. Maybe Michelle. Maybe Michelle. I think Michelle's just made for this. She really is. She's like,
She's just like,
bam. Yeah. Kelsey too. Although towards the end of the night, I was trying to get them to be cute, and they were just like, eh. I was like, okay, go to bed. We'll talk later. But yeah, it was a lot. I mean, pretty much everyone, if you go back and like see the videos that are being posted this week, like, cause I posted one like the first night and I was like, I'm very overstimulated. I'm not going to do the lunch today. So I can handle the dinner.
That.
Yeah.
I saw it.
And it wasn't just me. Tons of people have been posting. It was so great. It was so awesome. I'm still processing, but I'm completely overwhelmed and overstimulated by all of it. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like the next time I meet them, it'll be like, ain't no thing. But there are
Right.
people that I really like that I didn't get a chance to talk to. And I think a lot of that too was recording for the show. And so I'm hoping like the next one we have, probably next one we have will be in January. But if we have one here in Atlanta where we have doctors come speak and stuff, if that's the case, then I'm sorry, I'm really tired. If that's the case, then we can have like the team there, right? So we can divide and conquer instead of me trying to do like all the things myself and then missing stuff, right?
Right.
But it's important because, and so many people were like, I really wanted to talk to you and share my story. And I'm like, good news. I have tons of spots open for the rest of the year for lives. Like our episodes are booked through next year, but we have all the episodes like available for lives for you to come tell your story. Because people, it's very unburdening. Like we hear that so often from people that it's healing to be able to share their story, to not be interrupted, or anything like that. And so I think that we have to keep doing it, but it's almost like we have to do more because there's so many of us. There's so many. And this was only 50. And we have tens of thousands of people, that are in this community, So yeah, it was intense. It was intense. I am a very, very sleepy Kim, but that's okay because I'm here for it. We're going to do it.
Well, we're glad to have you back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
We were holding down the fort while you were gone.
Yeah, you were. You did the live and everything. Yeah.
And we were looking at the footage and just seeing everyone and seeing the facial expressions and
faces. They were like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone was
and it's not because people weren't genuinely happy. It's just because we didn't know what to do. It's kind of funny. Like when you look back at it, right? I feel like Rosie, the class. It's kind of funny, but it was really crazy. But of course, there's like the butterflies, right? Like social butterflies, like Sabrina and Michelle and Kelsey, and they like went out dancing one night. They like went to a club and all this different stuff. And I was like, y'all, my bedtime is 10. Like,
and 10 is pushing it.
Yes. And then by Saturday night, because I had rest during the day, when I went Saturday night to be like, all right, I'm in it. You know what I mean? I went and then they were just like beat, so, but it was really good.
Right?
Yeah. And there were moments too, where we would sit around and kind of get like, I don't want to get upset about it, but like, we would get really like, it's very emotional to feel so like, it's like, you feel so grateful, right? like in that moment, to be like in the room with all these people that are like pulling you along this really, really intense thing. And you get like very, so I think it's been a process. It's definitely been a process, but very cool. Very cool. And I think January will be great too, because we're going to have some of our doctors come speak. That's what I hear. I also heard that we're expanding the team and yes, we have some more volunteers coming to help the Plus Size podcast grow, which is excellent.
Amazing.
Yes. I know we need it. Right. Like when we first started this, we were just like three girls, like figuring it out. I don't know. Let's just talk about the stuff, see what happens. And now look what's happening. It's crazy.
Right. Figuring out my audio visual.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All of us.
Lighting,
all of us.
Audio, visual, makeup, hair. You're like, oh, okay.
I know, right? Okay, cool.
Crazy.
So anyway, that's like what's happening. So like, I don't think I need to tell anybody like who I am or who you guys are, but like we could do that real quick. So like, my name's Kim. This was born in the TikTok community, like, and it is about GLP-1 medications and all the plus size and the different things you can do to treat your health. And then weight loss follows, which is great. But what we want is the health. And I'm here because this has changed my life and treated many, many things, including my obsessive anxiety, and has completely just changed everything for me. And I just want everybody to feel like this. And that's why I'm here. Janine, who are you? Why are you here? What you doing?
I am Janine. I'm on TikTok. There is my TikTok handle. I have type 2 diabetes. I have Sjogren's syndrome. And I probably have some other things that I don't know about. But Mounjaro is helping to treat my type 2 diabetes, as well as, unbeknownst to my doctors and myself, my autoimmune disease. So who knew? Yeah. And it's all about comprehensive health. Great.
Yeah, it is.
Good comprehensive health.
That's right. This is a health and wellness podcast. It started out as let's talk about MJ, and now it's what? Let's health and wellness. We're talking about everything,
We're talking about all the things.
Yes. Hey, Kat, who are you? Why are you here? What you doing?
I'm Kat Carter. I'm on Mounjaro.
I'm Kat Carter.
Kat Carter. I'm on
Mounjaro.
Been on Mounjaro since October.
Yeah.
So it's officially been a year. And right now,
I was going to ask when is your anniversary?
I didn't count the day when I started. Actually, I don't know.
I don't know. I just think it was July.
I winged it. I winged it for so long. Now I'm actually starting to like really count and track things. And
I don't.
I think it's the Libra middle child. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I don't like to be in a. I don't want you to be the boss of me. So
I got you.
I get it.
I'm still. It has really helped. I've lost. Are we talking about weight here? I lost 66 pounds.
That's who you are. You know what you're doing.
Right now I'm training for a 100-mile ride.
Yeah.
My local cycle bar. I did 2 hours yesterday. There's no AC used. The air conditioning is broken in the theater at the cycle bar.
Oh,
I soldiered through 2 hours.
Whoa.
You're such a boss. I am just.
You really are.
Well, the day before, Saturday.
Is, right?
Saturday,
we need like a bunch of cats like in the military. Like that would just, you know what I'm saying?
Girl, I was too fat for the military.
Well, that's what I hear about the military. Remember when Kim was on our show and she was talking about that? Oh my gosh. You know who else? When I met with Susan, y'all remember Susan's story. Susan was too fat for the military too. Like by a pound.
I feel like I dodged a bullet because they would have, it was already, yeah. I guess I had to lose like 30 pounds and I was still obsessively and having, eating disorder in my life through that as well. Yeah. But I'm okay. Yeah. Everything happens sometimes you just don't get what you want to get where you need to be. That whole woo.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
It happens. Right.
Woo. Yeah, I get it.
Can't always get
what you want.
But you get what you need.
I picked it up.
But you get what you need. There you go.
You get what you need.
Love it.
That's it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, hey, we're here. It's all good. I think that we can bring in. I did. It doesn't happen very often, right? Like it's like one in every, I don't know, like 5 that I pick up what you're putting down. I'll just be over here going, just let me know when you guys are done. Because you're like, in the corner. And I'm just like,
on our pop culture.
What you guys are talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes Kim's like,
whoa. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, hi.
Get down here. Like, what?
I know.
Really, Cat, all the way over there.
Whoa.
I'm telling you, like, that's where it goes. And I'll just be like, what are you? I remember one time
I'll wait for them to get done.
You even hear me? It's like, yeah, that's what I do. I go, I'm just gonna, I'll be here in a minute. Somebody you're done with the giggles. Because I wish I could giggle, but I didn't pick it up. So think of what you put down.
But you picked it up this time.
I did this time.
You did.
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, hey. Okay, y'all. So, hey, we're going to talk a lot about, GLP-1s today. And we're going to talk about obesity and weight and a little bit about hormones and different stuff like that. And our community guest is Alexandra. Alexandra.
Hi, Alexandra.
We're so glad to have you.
Alexandra.
Thank you for having me.
You look so lovely today. I like your blue.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You might hear one of my cats like jumping up on my bed.
Girl, I have got 4 dogs and a child and a husband. It's fine. This is just life. And trust me, anytime someone makes a comment about any of that crap, I'm like, listen, this is a volunteer podcast. I'm gonna need you to sit. And then I just delete it.
My fiance just came in. He's like, do I have to crawl by your chair? I'm like, yes.
Yes, you do. That's what it is.
Look, that's funny.
We do what we can. Life happens. Like this show is about life, right? Like it's not perfect. It's never going to be. And that's why it's awesome. Anyway, hey, Alexandra, how you doing? So I follow you on TikTok. I followed you for a really long time on TikTok, even after the Great Banana. I found you again. Yeah. Were you on the banana boat? So for those that don't know, you were. I didn't see you on the banana boat. I mean, I figured you had to be there.
Yeah.
Did you get your account back? You had to start from over, right? From the beginning? I didn't think so.
Oh my gosh.
And I appealed for weeks and I kept getting, well, you did something in your live. I'm like, I've never done a live. Send it back. And then they said it was like trademark. And I think because at the beginning, I was talking so much about when I started my GLP-1 journey, saying Wegovy.
Yeah.
And didn't know that it was.
But that's old. Good Lord.
No one ever gave me a warning.
Right?
I'm gone.
Right.
That's crazy. It's so stupid. They overcorrected. Something happened.
So now it's Semaglutide.
Something.
Semaglutide is something.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy, right? And they don't like Semaglutide. They don't like Wegovy. They don't like Wegovy. They and I'm sure it's because here's the good news. We're not putting this on TikTok, so we're on YouTube. They don't care what we say. At that stuff, they don't care. So yay. We're gonna say all the things. We don't have to say banana. We can say banned over here. Woo, woo, woo. We could say banned for no stupid reason.
Say all the things over here.
However, I have to watch the F-bombs or they won't let me do ads. And the ads are how we pay for the podcast. So we need that. So, let's be careful there. I learned that the hard way because when I get passionate, the girls know I drop some Fs.
Oh, they just start flying.
They just fly. My parents are mortified. Anyway, hey, we're so glad to have you here. It's harder when I know the person and follow the person because I start hanging out with them and then I forget we're on a show. How you doing? Anyway, so we're so glad you're here. So as you know, if you've seen the show before, is that we invite a community guest on, try to every show because we are trying to change things. We're trying to change the narrative. We're trying to create a movement. This is not a trend. This is life now. This is how we do this. This is how we treat this. So we want people to quit looking at this just with, frankly, the most ridiculous, ignorant eyes they possibly can, and know that these medications treat a lot of different health things, and then weight loss follows because things are working like they should. And we need your help to do that. And how we do that is people love stories. They love stories, and stories move people, right? But to be able to really create change, we have to validate those things because of the fat bias in this country. I don't know if you know Dr. Catherine Toomer. You ever follow her? So she's been on the show a few times. And one thing she said recently, she just dropped some gems. I can't even tell you. One thing she said recently is that fat bias is the last bias and discrimination we allow in this country. And we allow it, So it's a big, big problem. So thanks for being a part of this and trying to help us do that. If you could share your community story, unfiltered and uncut, I would like to offer you the space to do that.
Quick pause here. I've had moments on my GLP-1 journey where insurance changes or rising costs force me to look for a new provider. And honestly, that process can feel very overwhelming. But that's why the Plus Size podcast is partnered with GLP Winner to give our subscribers a resource to help them make that decision easier. GLP Winner is a comparison platform that lets you explore telehealth providers in all 50 states, whether you're looking for brand name medications or compounded options. You can see pricing up front, read reviews, and get a clear picture of which provider might align best with your needs. Check it out today at glpwinner.com/plus sides. That's glpwinner.com/plus sides. Don't forget the Z. Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m., and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through this same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need.
"20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess this goes back to high school. You all, we gain weight as girls. And my dad pulled me aside in high school and said I was gaining too much weight and made me go to Weight Watchers. And that set off, decades of being overly, sensitive to, your appearance and your weight. And I started running just out of desperation to lose weight. Like I was 22 and I lost like 50 pounds in 8 months because, the metabolism of a 22-year-old. And that was like, I was 155 for like 5 minutes. And then, it was just years of trying to run and intensely. And anytime I may have strayed from that, the weight just piled on. And it just, I was exhausted, and so at 40, I was doing CrossFit now and running before CrossFit. Even the people at CrossFit thought I was nuts. And on the scale, BMI chart, I was still obese. And, I'd go to my family doctor for your checkup and, well, I'd like to see you lose 20. But yeah, I would like to see that too,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's the best thing to say to a doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they were being a jerk. Yeah. I'd love to do that too.
Yeah.
I was 42. 43, just turning 43. It was the start of the pandemic. And I went out for a run and it was a Saturday. I just started working from home a couple of days earlier and I just didn't feel right. And I got back to my house and I lay down for a nap. And that night when I woke up, I was feverish and I realized I think I have COVID. It was like very beginning. And I did a telehealth appointment and there was nothing they could do, and I was sick for a week and it wasn't the flu, but it wasn't enough for me to stay, at work extended period of time. And I thought I recovered, but I gave myself a few weeks thinking, I'm in my early 40s. I got to give my body some rest. Wanted to start going running again, and I didn't have any stamina. And then all these strange symptoms just started emerging over the coming months. Mental, emotional, physical, cognitive, from brain fog and memory loss to nerve pain in my chest to heart palpitations to anxiety, depression. I mean, this whole cacophony of really bizarre symptoms that were debilitating and continued to get worse. And I went to over 15 doctors in 2 years. No one could tell me what was going on. My family doctor actually, to her credit, said, I think this is due to COVID. And I have to really salute her for that, because still now a lot of doctors are invalidating long COVID as a diagnosis. And every time a specialist ruled out their specialty, you're like off now, without a life jacket, just trying to like tread water and find a new specialist to maybe address some of the symptoms that you're, living with. And finally, they discovered it was an autoimmune response, but nobody could figure out how to treat it, because long COVID can affect your body in many different ways. And for me, it triggered an autoimmune response that I was living with for 2 years. And in those 2 years, as if it wasn't hard enough for me to keep weight off at bay, the 2 years that I was very sick, I gained 60 pounds. And as soon as my health started to stabilize with some medications, I realized, okay, this is my opportunity to do something, because I am not accepting status quo. I mean, I haven't felt like myself for 2 years, and now I really don't recognize myself. And if I want to get some sort of semblance of a life back and myself back, I'm doing what I can about long COVID. Now let's take it to the next level and get back to being me. I looked into weight loss surgery, and in the States, I was just on the cusp of qualifying. My BMI was 38, and it was iffy if insurance was going to consider what I was dealing with as a comorbidity. And I feared that if I went through all of the hoops that one goes to qualify, the checkoff list from insurance, that people go through all that, and then they're denied right when they're ready to have surgery. And someone actually in a Facebook, support group, whatever, said, have you thought about going to Mexico? I'm like, I had never heard of that. And I did a lot of, phone calls and looking online and talking to a few places. And I booked my trip. In the States, it would cost over $30,000 for everything. When I went to Tijuana, it was $5,000, like drastically reduced. And, everything went smoothly, everything went great. And I was sharing my journey on TikTok with long COVID to start. And then when I went to my weight loss journey, I started a new channel on TikTok and was posting, on both. And everything was going well. It was my objective to start to chronicle my journey on long COVID, because nobody knew anything. And I was confined to my apartment with nothing but working and sleeping, And I thought, well, if I can do anything to raise awareness, I have this outlet. This is all I have other than my work. And then when I had weight loss, I thought, I don't want to be ashamed of any of this. I don't care what people think of me. Like, I don't want any judgment, and I want to help erase that judgment and shame for other people. And by normalizing it and getting in front of it, it doesn't have that power over you anymore. And I started sharing on TikTok, and I had people saying that I wasn't heavy enough for weight loss surgery and all the things. And that's part of raising awareness. That's part of getting in front of this, is to dispel myths, to realize that obesity comes in all sort of shapes and sizes and ages. That it's not just, some sort of image you have in your head that defines obesity in the dictionary. And that's, why I wanted to share my journey. And I had no idea when I started with weight loss surgery that 9 months later, all of that pre-surgery hunger was going to come rushing back. Wow. There was nothing that went wrong with my surgery. Everything was great. And there was nothing, wrong with that. I don't know if it was naivete on my part, or, when I met with a surgeon in the States, I had mentioned the GLP-1 because you were just starting to hear little bits and pieces. And he said, we can go that route, but I don't think it's going to get you to where you want to go, because it's been 1.5 years now. So people are starting to really report dramatic weight losses. And now they're even comparing it to the results you would get from weight loss surgery. But back 1.5 years ago, nothing was, people weren't speaking out the way they are now and sharing their stories. Yeah. So that's why I didn't go that route to start with. When I started feeling the food noise come back, and the hunger. And then I got a long COVID flare in my symptoms for 2 months. So I was debilitated and I gained 11 pounds in 2.5 months. And I just emotionally was leveled because I thought, after all I've been through, and now I've taken all these steps to try to address my weight, and now I'm going backwards again. Like, I just felt like powerless again. And I shared my journey I shared about this hunger. I didn't know what to call it. I didn't have the terms. And Dr. Spencer, who's the chief medical officer with Sequence, which is a telehealth provider, replied to my TikTok about talking about this insatiable hunger. And I was asking people who've had weight loss surgery, what do you do? How do you manage that? How do you, like, with your post-op recovery and years after that, are you dealing with this? Is this normal? And he said in his reply video, we can help with GLP-1. And so I contacted him directly, and he said, I told him about my BMI, my health history. He said, take the quiz on our website. You may qualify. And I did, with my health history, my BMI, my weight, and my insurance approved it. Wow. And I didn't know what to expect. I didn't have any expectations. And I was chronicling, making videos from the start. And it was interesting because some of those early videos really got a lot of traction, because I guess I was describing things that people were, the subtleties when you start on a GLP-1 that people didn't really know about. And I didn't either. I was just like 2 or 3 days later after I started, I just didn't feel like I wanted something. It wasn't that I was full, and it wasn't that I just was like done with it. And it's those kind of subtleties that started to build up. And when I identified them and shared them, I think a lot of people felt validated, because they're like, oh, yes, that is what's going on with me. Or if people are starting their journey, now they knew some of the subtleties to pick up on, because they're like, oh, well, I haven't lost any weight. Is this thing working? But when I started describing, well, this is what I was feeling after week 1, then they felt like, okay, you know what, I'm going to stick with it, and the weight loss will follow. And, compared to some people on a GLP-1, I'm a slow loser, but I had lost 60 pounds. It was like a little over 70. And then with my regain, it was 60 pounds lost. And I've lost 31 pounds since March. Every time that I've ever lost weight in the past, the smallest I could get down to is a size 10. Mm-hmm. And so I was about a size 10. But I thought, well, if I'm going through all this trouble, like, I want to get to like the healthy place, but I still didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know how far a GLP-1 would get me. In my head, I just always assumed like that was my set point. That was it. And, I kept losing and losing, like, healthy. And
that's cool.
It's gotten to a place
gives me hope.
Yeah. But a secondary factor, sorry to go back and forth, with me.
No, it's your story. Go ahead.
Well, you had mentioned autoimmune, Janine, and I had read studies that GLP-1s were helping people with autoimmune conditions. And since my long COVID had been identified as autoimmune, it piqued my interest as a secondary factor. Now, my doctor who's treating me isn't treating me for long COVID, but she's aware. And in fact, I've gone off some of the medication that I was using to stabilize my symptoms because of the GLP-1 anti-inflammatory properties.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, those are the kind of things that just the quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that if somebody would ask me what the biggest thing that I would say like a GLP-1 has done for me is bring my life balance. Yeah. I didn't realize like how loud the food noise was until it was taken away. I didn't realize like how much anxiety I had about going to functions where, I was going to be hungry or there was food there. And, do I carry a snack with me where I go? Because if I get hungry, then I'm going to get hangry and I'm going to, eat bad, or I'm going to eat too much. And I just didn't realize like how much those thoughts consumed my head and how much my life was filled by it until it was gone. And it just, my life is so much more, there's an ease to it now that there wasn't before.
Yeah, indeed.
And, when I look in the mirror, like, I see my flaws and everything, but I just feel like accept me so much. There's just an ease to it. The mental, and emotional side to it that I think that you just can't describe about it too. And I don't want to like hail it as some sort of miracle, but just the balance that has brought to my life physically and emotionally has been, changed everything.
Yeah.
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 But
I think that's awesome.
Because I've been on a perpetual weight loss journey for 30 some years, where do I go from here? Like, I'm approaching my goal weight. I'm probably going to be going into maintenance mode in a month or two. But I don't know how to live life not trying to lose weight.
Yeah. I understand.
Wow. I get it.
Yeah. It's like if you're always gaining or losing, what are you? If you're
always this chess game.
Yeah. There's so much mental stuff. I actually love your TikToks because you talk a lot about those things, about like, hey, where's my mind right now? And I think that's such a big part. Like Janine has sent me, sends me all the time. She's like, I'm worried about this girl. Like she'll, not you, like other people, like I'm worried. They're saying these things and they need to talk to somebody. And I'm like, it'll be fine. It's a process. Like, cause but like, she's just very concerned. She's just like, I'm getting a little worried, and because it is, there's so much that's going on, especially if you've dealt with this, like the majority of your life, or the majority of your adult life, there's so many things that you go through, including like accepting your body and seeing it different. And I mean, I'm telling you, the other day I looked in the mirror and I thought it was my mom. Now my mom is, much older, but it was like my mom at this age, right? Like I was like, what just happened? And I mean, I'm quite bigger than my mom was at this age, but still like the way that my face was hanging, and not in a bad way. My mom's lovely. We were talking about like surgery and people going to Mexico, and Janine said something about it being like kind of medical tourism. Is this sort of a nice setup? Because I feel like a lot of people are sort of ignorant about that. What is that like when you go there to have surgery?
So
compared to here?
Yeah, it was facilitated by like a US based company through a surgery center in Tijuana. And the whole package, the only thing you had to pay for is your airfare, and you fly into San Diego, and they have a driver pick you and other patients up at the airport or the hotels around the airport. Then you all get in this van and they take you through the medical lane across the border. Yeah, so they have a medical lane because that's how much Tijuana depends on it for their tour, for their economy. And they take you right to the hospital and you undergo tests. And my surgery was that night.
And they do dental work and everything down there. They do a really good job.
What?
This was a boutique like hospital, whatever. And so they did like plastic surgery and weight loss surgery there. And most of the staff spoke English. Just some of the nurses overnight didn't, speak English, but they had Google Translate on their phone. And and it was my family all thought I was crazy. But I said to my mom, I said, listen, you know me, I have a solid head on my shoulders, that you always think I'm smart. So just trust me on this one. She's like, you're right. I do. And you can take a companion for free. They have to stay with you like on the day bed in the hotel room or in the patient room, actually. And it's kind of like a concierge thing. It's paid for 2 nights in the hospital, 2 nights recovering in a local hotel. Then the driver picks you and other patients back, takes you back across the border, and you get into the airport and you fly home.
Oh my God. So what happens if you get home and you have like complications?
Well, you are able to communicate with them in Mexico, but then it would be that point, you would talk to your care team and would determine whether it warrants you going to, the ER or something like that. Fortunately, nothing like that ever, happened with me. They have support with a dietitian and so on. But once I got home, I pretty much, just took care of myself. I didn't have any complications.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I like, we've had other people in our community that have done the same thing, and I think it's sad. Like, we really do have a sick care system. I mean, it's not a healthcare system, and it's such a problem. And the thing is, though, is I don't think anybody's got it figured out. I think a lot of times we'll act like our friends across the pond have it figured out, but we have had Alex
on our show who is a clinician in the UK who's been like, it's crumbling to its feet here. Like he's the first, he's like, obesity treatment is like straight trash. Like, and he doesn't say that, but he says that. And, he's like, the system here is awful. Like you're going to get really, really good care if you break your leg, like the top notch, but anything else, anything proactive, anything extreme, especially around obesity, like it's not going to happen. So I don't think anybody's got to figure it out. So I'm very careful that when people say, oh, well, this and that in Australia, and all, I'm like, I know a lot of people that live in those countries and they disagree, So I don't know what the answer is. There's got to be something in the middle, I don't know. I don't know the answer.
So many people, so many people go there from Canada and the United States every single day, every day, because they're either uninsured or they're uninsured and they need affordable dental work, or, they need plastic surgery, whether it's they want it or they need it, but their insurance doesn't cover it. And for me, I knew weight loss surgery was the next thing that I needed to do for my health and my wellness. And putting that decision on other people, like to pitch my case to this whole list of doctors and the insurance company to determine whether I was worthy or not.
Right.
Was traumatizing in itself. The first doctor I went to was like, have you tried swimming? And I'm like, I have to recount my life of trauma and wait. And now I have to like take up swimming because you don't know if I deserve surgery or not.
Wow.
Yeah. I've never heard anybody say that before, to determine if I am worthy. That just like hit me in the gut. Good God.
It's a good one.
You say I mean, like, how awful is that? Like, am I worthy enough to be healthy?
Dude, yeah.
I'm worthy for healthcare.
That must be what everybody feels like when they're trying to get approved for these medications. Like, that's why it's so
I was getting ready to say.
Am I sick enough?
Yeah. Is this whole prior authorization process? And I know, Alexandra, you have talked about that, and now hearing your story, you can, that almost is like another trauma, because you're sitting on the edge of your seat, trying to see if you'll be approved, or you've been on these medications and you're trying to get a continuance of care, and you're so much better than what you were. Oh, wow.
I just went through that.
That just hit me in the gut. Yeah. I saw your video about, but your PA was approved like lickety split.
Yeah. Mine too for Wegovy.
Type 2 diabetes runs in my family. My mom, her brother, my grandfather, her father died from diabetes, but this was back in the 80s. Like things have advanced since then, but I only knew him as a sick man. And I knew that even though I was approaching being pre-diabetic, and if I didn't get the weight off, it was a big likelihood that I was going to become diabetic. My blood pressure was getting high. And since I started on GLP-1 back in March, my blood pressure has drastically reduced. And I heard horror stories about people, reapplying or refiling for that PA and not getting approved. And I thought, because they only approved it for 6 months, and then within a day came back, and I'm approved for a year now.
Oh, wow. They changed
which
it.
Which is amazing, because many, when it's Wegovy or Saxenda, many pharmacy benefits managers, as we know, only do like 6-month PA approvals. They rarely do a year. And then when you have the 6 months, you have to meet certain benchmarks to get the continuation of coverage.
Yep.
Wow.
That's the thing too, is like when it comes to these medications, it's so easy to be like, well, I should leave my job and go here and go there, and they covered, and that does not mean they will tomorrow. That does not mean when that quarter changes. And so we all are always kind of living on the edge of our seat. I feel like, will it be this month? Then I'm without it.
Right.
That is a very, very sobering thing for me. I don't know if you guys have had that experience, but it's like, it really does make you enjoy every day. Like you've got these plans, and that's great, right? You plan to have your medication forever, but at the end of the day, there's so much work to be done. And do I think that Novo and Eli Lilly have the money and the influence to likely get it done? Yeah. Do I think it'll happen fast? No. And I think that we will continue to have very sick people that need care that cannot either afford it or access it, because this is an American problem. This is an American problem,
I'm fortunate and privileged to have health insurance that covers this. you know,
me too.
And like nothing makes me any different than anyone else other than the fact that I have health insurance that makes this affordable.
Yes.
You know, and I'm grateful for that. And that's another reason for sharing my story, because more people need to be talking about the benefits to it.
Yeah.
Because so many other people can benefit from it if they had access.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys talk about autoimmune, so they haven't figured out what mine is. But what I do know is that it is very much hinged on dietary. And I've tried all the things in the land, and the only thing that works is like removing anything wheat or gluten, just very inflammatory types, because it's horrible for me. It's awful, to the point where they thought I had celiac. Like it's very, very bad. And so for me, the medication actually helps me not even want or crave those things, if that makes sense. And it also reduces my inflammation so much that I'm able to be much more active and live a bit, so it's like a lot of times I think these autoimmunes take years to be able to identify what it actually is, but it's very interesting. Like there's just, that's what I think is just so fascinating about like these medications is they do treat so many things. And part of me is like, oh, but is it all the same thing? Like, is it all actually insulin resistance? And it's just causing all this other crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that we had like that answer, like what came first, and the one thing I feel like I hear regularly is like obesity, like genetics. It's a thing, type 2 diabetes, genetics, it's a thing, and we don't really quite know what it is or which one it is. And you can do genetic testing and kind of figure things out. But at the end of the day, we kind of don't really know, at least like specifically, we don't.
No. And I mean, I know in terms of autoimmune, you all have been so understanding because, Kat and Kim have seen me when I'm just like, oh God. And you can't even describe it. It's like, and I remember when I first started working as a flight attendant, you like can't call out sick, even if I mean, like, it's just really strict. And I remember I told the scheduler one day, my body hurts. My bones hurt. I didn't know what was going on. And it's like now we're seeing more people in the community with autoimmunes and their first question, does Mounjaro help it? Because you live in pain, like just pain all the time.
Pain. Yeah. It sucks. Yeah. I mean, I think that we have to, like one thing with JT, and I think anytime with autoimmunes, like she has 2 jobs, right? She does stuff for the podcast. She helps with the podcast. She hosts the podcast. She helps us find lots of different stuff, like lots of different stuff, like sponsors and, so that on top of other things that she does in her own life that she's trying to balance, plus her job. And plus she has an autoimmune. So like we have to find a way for all of us really to be able to like, balance our lives. And I got to tell you, if I were sick like I was, there was no way I'd be able to do this. This medication really has helped me get in a place like physically where I can like live my best life and be my best self, Have you experienced that too, Alex?
Yeah. Because I'm so grateful that I had the foresight to share my long COVID journey since 2020. I look back now where I'm at, especially since I'm posting a lot more now on my weight loss journey over to that channel. And I'm like, I'm doing the side-by-side with me now, looking back at myself 2 years ago at my heaviest. And I was so angry and so sad and so unsure about my future because I'm such a self-motivated person. Weight was the one equation I couldn't solve and was so mad at myself for. And then I was facing such a serious health, issue with this mysterious condition. And it got to a place where I thought I was going to be sick for the rest of my life. Totally. I really was resigning that this is my life. And so a year and a half later, it wasn't that long ago. And seeing like who I am now, I'm so grateful that I didn't give up and I kept going to doctors and I kept looking for solutions and I kept refusing to live status quo. And even if there was some sort of modicum of improvement, I didn't want to, I just kept moving.
Yeah.
Good.
I totally understand. Yeah. I mean, I'm so glad that you're here and that you're sharing, both sides, of your journey. I think it's
especially you mentioning, and we're going to invite on our clinician here in just a minute, especially mentioning that diabetes, like, and yeah, it was a long time ago, but it runs in your family.
Mm-hmm.
And that is for sure genetic, and they know that, and so it's like, was it always insulin resistance and there was going to be a switch? Like, and I think that we have to talk about that switch. Like, when is that flipped? Because we have people who are pre-diabetic, diabetic, and there's people that are on this like sort of insulin resistance spectrum, right? Which is why we have the A1C and why you don't want to be on the other side of the 6.5. You don't want that. And so, we talk about Jordan's like, and we talk about that. But like, when you go to your doctor and they say, do you eat less and move more? That is precious time that you are wasting when there are FDA approved medications to try to help you so you never have to be on that other side and have another chronic disease that we know is vicious, like we say in our friend, So I think that's something we need to talk about, because even with you, like talking about your weight stuff, and maybe it was like, 15, 20 pounds or so when you were younger, and then it turned to like whatever the heaviest was with whatever was going on in your life. Whatever that trigger is, like we've heard it before, that's the difference in like struggling with the food noise and having weight issues and then going to be obese. So I hope that we can start, thinking about, how do we proactively get ahead of that? How do we realize when we see, this constant repetition of 20 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever it is in people's life and history, that we can go, whoop, let's test. Let's see where we are. Let's do our blood work, and let's check our hormones. Like, let's figure out what's going on, and I think that is just really, really important. And I think we're missing it, and so I hope we can talk more about that. And without further ado, if you would like to stay with us, we do have a special. Yay! Hello, how are you? It's Dr. Aleem Kanji. Yes?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh, yay me. Okay. How are you? We're so glad to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So I found you on TikTok. I like your TikToks. I think they're underrated. Frankly, I feel like they're underrated.
Informative.
They're so good. They're underrated. They're underrated. We're gonna help. We're gonna help people find out about it. This will help with that. So hey, we're glad to have you. But besides the fact that you're a doctor and that you're on TikTok and that I found you that way, I would really like you to tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you help people.
Yeah, absolutely. So I usually like to start with, so I'm a husband, I'm a father of a young girl, so proud girl dad, and I'm a Houstonian, and kind of moving more in terms of how I help. So I'm an endocrinologist and obesity medicine specialist, again, here in Houston. And really that kind of intersection of endocrinology and obesity medicine is where my passion or my niche lies. And that's how I really like to serve people.
That's awesome. Can you explain to us a little bit what is internal medicine? I feel like we hear that a lot and no one really defines it for us.
Please.
Yes. I purposely neglected to mention that. So internal medicine is essentially just kind of general medicine, if you will, for adults. And the trajectory or pathway for training goes, if you choose to care for adults in kind of this general medicine format or primary care, if you will, you complete an internal medicine residency for 3 years. From there are options to pursue fellowship or specialized training. So I chose endocrinology. So I did an additional 2 years of endocrinology fellowship thereafter. But internal medicine is kind of the foundation. And that can take the form of primary care, which many of us know, or it could also take the form of hospital medicine. So hospitalists have that internal medicine background as well.
I see. Okay. And then you touched on something else. So we've heard about this before, and I feel like in general, people say endocrinologist or hormone doctors. And I feel like it's a little dismissive. Could you explain to us a little bit more about what an endocrinologist does, like how it works and what you're looking at in the body?
Yes, sure. I think it's fair enough to say that it's not unfair as far as kind of understanding. But so endocrinology, yes, it is the study of hormones. However, it does go a little bit deeper, right? So generally with endocrinology, you're looking at different kind of levels of signaling, right? And so we tend to look at, okay, what's going on from the level of, let's say, like the brain going downwards, and kind of understanding, okay, how is there something off, in other words, too much of a certain hormone being produced, too little? And what I find really exciting is that, so these changes affect the entire body, right? So you can take a look at thyroid hormone as an example, affects all of the organ systems. And so it really, it touches on everything, but foundationally we do say hormones though.
Yeah, I get that. Well, I mean, I think we all can agree that hormones is a thing, and it definitely has to do with what we're talking about. And obviously GLP-1s we know are a synthetic hormone, right?
Well, so GLP-1 actually is, it's a hormone that we naturally make in our small intestine. It comes from these cells called the L cells. And now the medications that we're kind of focused on and discussing, they increase the production of GLP-1, right? And all of the benefits that come with that. But it is a naturally produced hormone.
And do some people just have less than others? Like why? You know, like I always wonder that.
So that's a good question. You know, there was some thought that in type 2 diabetes, there's a diminished effect of those types of hormones. And kind of the umbrella term that we use for them is called incretins, right? So there's a diminished incretin effect in type 2 diabetes. And so that's something that we're aware of. And again, that's what's one of the many exciting things about these medications is they're promoting that increase and correcting for that deficiency, but it comes along with these other benefits that the hormones or GLP-1 in specific does in the body.
Yeah. GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your.
Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again, and the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through this same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need. Today's episode is brought to you by Ro, a telehealth platform that's changing the game of GLP-1 access. What sets Ro apart? Ro understands the challenges of navigating insurance hurdles and the skyrocketing prices of GLP-1 medications. That's why they specialize in getting insurance approvals for GLP-1s. And if insurance is a barrier, they go a step further by prescribing brand name zepbound vials for prices close to those of compound GLP-1s. With Ro, you're not just getting a prescription, you're getting a partner in your journey that's helping you access affordable treatment and guiding you every step of the way. Whether it's insurance approvals or cost-effective alternatives, Ro is here to make sure that you get the medication you need. Visit ro.co/plussides with a Z today to see how they can help you take control of your weight management journey with affordable, accessible care. That's ro.co/plussides with a Z, making healthcare work for you. Check out the link in our show notes for more details.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.